We'll reconvene our meeting from recess. Council, I'll need to back up for 1 minute and get approval of our last week's meeting. We have a motion on the floor to approve with no objections. The minutes will stand as read. Thank you, Council. Moving now to ordinances on final reading with no opposition. We will take items A and B as a group.
Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 4118 Dodge Avenue from R2 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1650 Madison Street from URD2 urban residential detached zone to URM3 urban residential multi-unit subject to certain conditions.
Councilwoman Dotley.
Move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve items A and B with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved. Council, ordinances on first reading under Finance 8A, please.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 13991, also known as the fiscal year 2023-2024 operations budget for the city of Chattanooga to transfer the fiscal year 2024 net surplus funds from the sale of city of Chattanooga delinquent tax parcels and the Hamilton County surplus property sale to the Chattanooga Land Bank Authority.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to move to defer that to the 14th. That is a public hearing, to the 14th.
Okay.
To give ample notice for public notification.
Thank you, ma'am. Do I have a second? All right, I have a motion on the floor to defer until May the 14th with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Thank you, Council. Council, let's take items 8B and C together as a group since these are going to be withdrawn tonight.
Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 313 Tremont Street from R1 residential zone to RTZ residential townhouse or lot line zone, subject to certain conditions. Item C, an ordinance closing and abandoning the unopened right-of-way in the 300 block of Tucker Street as detailed on the attached maps.
Councilwoman Hill.
I move to withdraw these two items.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to withdraw items 8B and C with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Items are withdrawn. Moving now to resolutions. Madam Clerk, with no objections, we'll take items A and B together as a group.
Item A, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a second agreement to exercise option to renew with Betsy Smith Cultural Center in substantially the form attached for an additional term of 5 years with the term beginning through June 30, 2029. Item B, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Alex Rayland to the Form-Based Code Committee for a term beginning on April 24, 2024 and ending on April 23, 2027.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 9A and B with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Is Mr. Rayland here this afternoon? Nope. Okay. If you are watching through the live stream, we do appreciate your service. Thank you. Now for our purchases.
Good evening, council.
Well, we made an improvement since
We have one purchase this evening and then two sole source to report. The first is from the Engineering and Water Quality Division of Public Works. It's a one-time purchase of CAT 420CE backhoe and extended warranty from Stowers Machinery Corporation in the amount of $140,057.37 for use by the Birchwood Landfill Division of the Public Works Department. This purchase is utilizing Tennessee State Contract Number SWC 2525.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. So moved.
2 sole source purchases to report. First is from wastewater. This is a sole source purchase in the amount of $23,944 for thermal mass flow meter and accessories equipment. Process Supplies and Accessories is the sole distributor of this equipment. The second is from Technology Services. This is a sole source renewal in the amount of $26,066.72 for the ArcGIS desktop and service from Esri. Esri is the sole source provider of Esri products and related maintenance services in the U.S. commercial, state, and local government marketplace.
And I don't believe we have to take a vote on sole service.
Correct, that's just a report.
For your
Yes, sir.
report. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. All right, before we go to committee reports, one thing I need to do is assign a new chair for our Public Safety Committee. And I want to ask Councilwoman Dotley if she would assume that role. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, coming around the horn, Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilwoman Knoll.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Dotley.
No report.
Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a request earlier today.
You don't say.
It's been quite some time since we've had the opportunity to discuss. And I will get back to you on when we have availability to hear that ordinance.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Councilman Ledford.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Hester.
No report.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The fiscal year 25 budget will be unveiled next week. It will go online to the public. We will see it for the first time. And then beginning 2 weeks from that, we will start our budget education sessions. And if I'm not mistaken, the schedule will be up online. I do have to say one thing, and that is, as with every year, some of the topics may change if the council has valid questions that they need more time on. So this is the suggested schedule. Please be kind if it goes a little longer or perhaps even a little shorter.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Vice Chair.
No report.
All right, thank you. Now we come to the time in our agenda where we recognize persons wishing to address the council. If you would, go ahead and begin lining up at the podium, and I'm going to ask the attorney if he would read our rules to address the council.
Yes, sir. At the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone provided up front for that purpose. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not on matters which are not under their authority but are regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Don't engage in vulgar or obscene language nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole and not make comments directed towards individual council members. And the chair will not permit disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting which is prohibited by Tennessee law. Someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, please go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. IT, if you'd give us 3 minutes on the clock, please. Thank you.
My name is Janet Persons, and thank you for letting me speak. We came in October to address the speeding issue that we have on South Astor Avenue in Lookout Valley. After the meeting, we met with the chief, Sutton, Miss Sutton, Kimberly Strong, and they said that they could put a strip on the road to watch where the speed's coming from. It's coming from Moss Avenue, which had speed bump put on their street, so they're avoiding their speed bumps to come around Astor Avenue, and they go at it. They go anywhere from 30 to 55 miles an hour on that road. We know this because we did a neighborhood speed survey. We did the radar gun for 3 weeks and submitted it to Ben Harmon at the traffic department. We've heard nothing. I have conversations with him, and we heard of him through Jermaine Freeman from the mayor's office, and I also met police chief, or not chief, but the policeman Carpenter on my second time to come up here. And he said, well, get a list of all the cars and makes and models that's coming from Moss that's, speeding. Well, we did that. It took us a weekend, and we submitted to everybody that we've been emailing with. And we've heard nothing, and heard nothing on the speed survey. So the lack of communication, and I feel that the city has not done anything to help us with this speeding problem on Astor Avenue. I talked to Ben, and I asked him, and every time we talk to somebody, oh, speed tickets don't work, speed limits don't work. Well, but would work is if the city would put speed bumps on the portion of the property that they own and put a speed bump sign going north and south to help stop some of these people from speeding on our road. They're going to kill somebody. And I'm hoping that it's not going to be a child. They're out there riding bicycles. We have runners with dogs, children playing in the street, running out. You know how kids will run out and get a ball, They don't know. And you can't see over the hill because it's a blind spot. If they can't see me, runners, adults, when they come over that hill going north and south, they sure can't see a child on a bicycle. We had some last week riding on the streets. Speeders come through there, and they don't care. They don't care that we're on the road. We don't have a sidewalk. I'm very disappointed that the city at least hadn't put speed bumps down there to help us alleviate some of this problem. My neighbors have said, I'm fed up with the city because they're not going to do anything. I said, well, I'm going down there and give them my last chance to see if they'll do speed bumps anyway down there, at least on the city property.
So I think in order to do the speed humps, I think you'll have to submit a request online and then get 60% participation.
We have done a petition of the neighborhood, sir, and I know my time is up.
Well, okay. If, Kim, could you get with her after the meeting and get the names of the people that she has sent these requests to, and then I'll follow up with that.
I will say that we have a petition, but it has all said as a last resort.
Okay.
And
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Mr. Bell.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to your seat.
Thank you.
I left you a message. Couldn't resist. I had to call you on the roll call. It was only fair. Monty Bell, the homeless journalist, the gray-haired fox, a man with the $1 trillion voice. 1000 Lindsay Street is my address. 625 Georgia Avenue is my address. One time I was here, I mentioned that if you thought I was kidding about my immediate removal from office, ouster, the all-civil proceeding, that we were going to get the attorneys out of here, and if you doubted that, you would be fooled by April. This is the end of April. I almost laughed. April Fools. Yesterday, I was followed once again like I was being followed at the circuit courts. And I'm only there because of the incident that happened with David Toulis and Marie Mott here at the city council, invading the privacy of Monty Bell, the homeless journalist, the gray-haired fox. I don't allow people to know me. I haven't allowed that for a long time. So to get all of the verbiage about Monty Bell really surprises me. I've never sat in the company of anyone on the county commission or the city council, the police department, Hamilton County Sheriff deputies, any of these lawyers. Monty Bell doesn't lend himself like that. But I've got so much verbiage about this little guy, this little firm. And I've got $211 billion, $34 million for your fraud. We filed on yesterday what is new. It's called Article 7, Section 1 of the Tennessee Constitution, which provides for the grounds. I'll say this for the last time. When I studied under Attorney Robert Hill, it was to train me, to provide protection for me. And you all have attacked me repeatedly. Now, we've got fraud on the entire 11th Judicial District Court. Everybody's committed it. It's a combination of the city attorney's office and the county attorney's office and the state. I've just handed the first police officer since June the 21st of 2022 proof beyond a preponderance of the evidence of a kidnapping, robbery, and abduction that occurred here. I still haven't found Jenny Parker. That means that the city attorney, the county attorney, and everyone else is in non-compliance of the Freedom of Information Act. $211 billion, $34 million for your fraud and your child's play. I want my money. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Anyone else wishing to address the council this afternoon before we adjourn? Council, I'm not seeing anyone. What's your pleasure? We are adjourned.